Next news. Breaking news from the White House.
July 10. That's the date the racket hits a wall. The Trump administration just locked in the expiration of TPS work permits for nationals from Haiti, Syria, Burma, Yemen, Ethiopia, South Sudan, and Somalia after the Supreme Court finally smashed the judiciary's sabotage machine. And right as that deadline lands, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez blurts out the line that tells you everything. These migrants are gifts to America. Gifts. Well, a DMV worker in Springfield admits Haitians are getting licenses quick, while Chip Roy says 65% of TPS holders are on welfare. This is not compassion. This is an import and protect pipeline, and Trump just started shutting the valve. The story matters because July 10th is not just a paperwork date. It's a test of whether the law means what the law says in plain English. Temporary protected status contains the word temporary. Democrats, NGOs, legacy media activists, and open border politicians twisted it into forever. They took emergency shelter and mutated it into a backdoor amnesty pipeline that dumps the bill on American workers and taxpayers. Chip Roy hammered the core number. 65% of people here on TPS are on welfare. That means families already crushed by inflation, rent, groceries, and taxes got forced to subsidize Washington's moral vanity project. And Roy nailed the obvious truth. Temporary means temporary. Then look at the human cost inside our own towns. In Springfield, a DMV worker admitted Haitians are getting licenses quick. Quick. That one word carries the whole scam. Fast documents, weak citizenship checks, a state ID that plugs straight into an election system that Trump is fighting to secure. And that's why the Save America Act matters. Border law and vote law are the same fight right now. When a Springfield DMV worker says Haitians get licenses quick, ask yourself how fast the same system can lock you out of your own money overnight. Everybody cheers AI and cloud finance until a screen goes dark or gets hacked. What do you actually own then? Noble Gold Investments gives you something real, physical gold and physical silver. A coin you can hold, a bar you can stack, wealth that doesn't live on a server, can't be frozen by a keystroke, and can't be erased by code. They could even help with a tax advantage retirement account or physical gold and silver shipped to your door. Go to nextnewsgold.com, just mention my name, and you can get a free 10-ounce U.S. Independence silver bar when you open a new qualified account. Own America, not digital vapor. Now here's the detail the corporate press keeps ducking because it wrecks the whole sob story script. USCIS did not just move a deadline. USCIS spelled out the exact countries and told businesses to use July 10 for verification. That means this hits payrolls, hiring desks, and compliance officers in real life. No more activist fog, no more endless extensions by emotional blackmail. Now, I'm going to show you the receipts because Americans see exactly what AOC refuses to see in that word, gifts. Trump administration setting July 10, the expiration for temporary protected status. USCIS confirmed that employment authorization for nationals from Haiti, Syria, Burma, Yemen, Ethiopia, South Sudan, Somalia ends on that date. Businesses must use it for verification. The adjustment follows the June 25th SCOTUS decision limiting court review of TPS termination. So that date makes it official. The court stopped blocking Trump and DHS is moving. Now Chip Roy zeroes in on the number the media won't touch. 65% of foreigners came here on temporary protected status are on taxpayer-funded welfare.
Charlie, great to be with you. And, you know, the Babylon Bee summarized this the best today. I don't know if you saw what they put out in saying in controversial 6-3 opinion, Supreme Court rules that the words temporary and forever are not the same. Now, what is shocking is that 3 Supreme Court justices said somehow that they are the same. And you just highlighted a statistic that's really important, the 2010 date with respect to Haiti and an earthquake. We are now obviously 16 years beyond that. But also the fact that 65% of the people who come here who are on TPS status are on welfare.
Yeah.
This is the crux of everything, Charlie. This is why the president is correct, why my good friend, and he is a very good friend of mine, Tom Homan, is correct. They are doing the right thing. And all this wailing and gnashing of teeth is a bit much. I think Stephen Miller said it right. Like, look, Haiti, that's good for Haitians, and go, fix your country. When you have earthquake, we're humane. We'll step in and try to help. But it's not a permanent status issue. And by the way, my Republican colleagues, if they want to win this November, they've got to stop playing footsie with Democrats on these things. We had to deal with a discharge petition among Republicans here in the House to try to extend TPS further for Haitians. 10 Republicans sided with Democrats to do that. That's not the way to win in November. I listened to your segment with Byron York. Let's go inspire the people to stand behind the president to stop this flood into our country, and that's the way to win.
So he says temporary was never meant to mean forever. He warns Republicans to stop helping Democrats drag it out. Next, a closer look at Springfield, Ohio, where critics say fast-track licenses for Haitian migrants open the door to election abuse. That's why Democrats are fighting so hard to keep Haitians on temporary protected status. Video of Springfield, Ohio, where illegal Haitian migrants are being given driver's licenses despite getting there and speaking no English.
To see how the Haitians are getting driver's licenses in cars so quickly after moving here despite speaking zero English.
Question for y'all. What are your thoughts on the Haitians? They can't drive? This guy right here, by a Haitian dude. Yo, bonjour.
You got a cat right beside him. Yeah. Stop! Do that! Stop, bro. Stop, do that.
You said that shit, not me. You take that back. I didn't shit.
I'll tell you that, back. Bro, come on, bro. We be playing, bro. There's nothing wrong with some jokes.
Let's go see what's up. How y'all doing? Question for you. Do you know how the Haitians are getting driver's license? Can they transfer their license from Haiti, or?
No, they cannot transfer.
Do they have to undergo the same test?
I'm not allowed to answer the personal questions outside of the office.
Well, okay. You know what they have to do?
I do not.
Okay.
I really don't know. No, but I know they're getting them quick.
They're getting them quick, right? We ask.
You are not allowed to take pictures in here, sir.
And the, go outside? Sorry. Are they able to transfer their licenses from Haiti to here?
No, not without taking the test. But that's the only question
So we have people literally saying that they are giving the Haitians driver's licenses as quickly as they can and secretively. Well, what can they do with those driver's licenses? Well, in Ohio, you can vote with those driver's licenses. And what else do you need to register to vote in Ohio? Well, it says that you need to be a registered U.S. citizen to vote. But here's the thing. What do you need to prove that you're a U.S. citizen in Ohio? Well, you do not need any documented proof that you are a U.S. citizen. You just go in there and say, I attest I am a citizen. So they can just walk in with their driver's license, say they're a U.S. citizen, no proof is required, and bam, they can vote. It's that simple.
So that's how loose the system looks on the ground. The pressure campaign in Washington makes more sense. Now, 2 Florida Republicans are pushing Trump to redesignate TPS for Venezuelans after a deadly earthquake. Florida Reps Maria Elvira Salazar and Carlos Jimenez are urging the Trump administration to redesignate TPS for Venezuelans.
A major immigration push is coming out of Florida, and it centers on Venezuelans currently living in the United States under temporary protected status, or TPS. I'm Kennedy Owens with what you need to know. 2 Florida Republicans, Reps Maria Elvira Salazar and Carlos Jimenez, are urging the Trump administration to restore or redesignate TPS protections for Venezuelans after a series of devastating earthquakes struck the country. They argue the situation on the ground is too unstable for people to safely return, pointing to widespread destruction and a deepening humanitarian crisis. They say U.S. law allows TPS when a country is hit by disasters like earthquakes, and they believe Venezuela now meets that threshold again. But this comes at a tense moment. The administration has been moving to scale back or end longstanding TPS protections in other cases, arguing that the program is meant to be temporary and that they are not indefinite. So now you've got a split. Florida Republicans pushing for expanded protections while immigration hardliners are trying to rein them in. Here's the question. Should the U.S. extend protected status when a country faces repeated crisis, or is TPS being stretched beyond what it was ever meant to do? And more importantly, who gets to draw that line?
So even after years of abuse, the TPS lobby is still hunting for another extension. Meanwhile, the damage from open border chaos is not abstract. Look what the streets of New York look like now, like a third world country.
I don't care.
So the street scene is what happens when Democrat policy rots the city from inside out. In AOC's response, she says Haitian migrants on TPS are not a burden, but gifts to America.
Comes to the Supreme Court ending TPS for Syrians and Haitians, just talk about the fact that some of these people are being sent to their deaths.
I mean, it's horrifying. We know this for a fact, that TPS is granted in some of the most extreme cases where people are under the most humanitarian threat. And the reason that people go through a very rigorous process in applying for TPS, and just to be approved for TPS and to have that status in the first place is confirmation that it is too dangerous for you to go home. And so to sentence so many people to extremely life-threatening conditions for no reason, because these folks are such gifts to American society. These communities are tremendous assets. In New York City alone, I can tell you how much of an enormous asset that the Syrian community has been, that the Haitian community has been. They are vibrant. They contribute so much to our genius, to our culture, to our economy, to our communities. And it's a loss for the United States. It's a loss for us. And my hope is that we will be able to do everything we can in these very difficult circumstances.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman.
So AOC selling the same open border script, more emotion, no accountability. Now Trump goes the other direction, calling the Save America Act a top priority because it locks in photo ID, proof of citizenship, and limits mass mail ballots.
So I think the Save America Act is the most important thing that we'll have before us, and maybe for many years back and many years forward. It's voter identification with a photo. So you look at somebody, that looks like that guy. Voter ID, it's proof of citizenship, and it's no mail-in ballots, except for the military. We're very generous on this. If you're sick, if you're just not feeling well, you can get exceptions. If there's a disability, there's some problem, or if you go on vacation. But you can't send in millions and millions and millions of ballots where you swamp the place. And it's so corrupt. We're the only country in the world that does it. So it's those three things. I also had no men in women's sports, but we won that yesterday in the Supreme Court. And I also had no transgender mutilization of children. And frankly, we'll win that too.
So Trump just made voter integrity the frontline fight, says it's too important to leave stalled. Next, he gets blunt about the roadblock, the filibuster, and the Republicans, he says, won't get on board.
How do we get there on Save America? What would you like Majority Leader Thune to add?
Well, I would like them to get it passed. What I'd really like is for them to kill the filibuster, terminate the filibuster. When they terminate the filibuster, then they'll immediately approve the Save America and 100 other things. You could sit down all day long and just vote, and you'd have it. And the sad part is we probably have 5 or 6 senators that won't vote for it, Republican senators, and all of the Democrats. So their policy's no good, the Democrats. I call them the Democrats because their policies are so bad. But the one thing, unfortunately, They stick together. They don't have.
Well, we'll see.
Mitch McConnell.
We'll see what this.
Now, Mitch McConnell.
The Democratic Party's got their own issues right now. We'll talk about that a little later.
It's a different kind of issue. When they vote on something, they say,
like the board.
Look at the Supreme Court justices. The 3 Supreme Court justices, every vote, if it's for or against, it's 100%. I don't think they had any dissension. Where's our people? Yeah, no. It's almost, I've said it. Republicans want to show everybody how they're not controlled, how they're so honorable. Whereas the Democrat justices and judges, by the way, and judges, they get up. Barack Hussein Obama appointed me, and I'm voting for him. Republicans don't do that. And I'm amazed. I'm not saying it has to be a loyalty test, but it's much different.
So Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez handed the game away when she called Haitian TPS holders gifts to America. That one word drips with elite contempt. AOC never asked the cashier paying taxes for the welfare bill. AOC never asked the family in Springfield watching licenses get handed out quick. AOC never asked citizens whether they wanted a temporary program stretched 16 years past a 2010 earthquake and then defended like sacred entitlement. Donald Trump, by contrast, did the adult thing. He restored the meaning of words. He took a Supreme Court win and turned it into enforcement. July 10 is the line, not someday, not after another activist injunction. Now. And every Democrat melting down over that deadline is confessing the same thing. They never wanted temporary protection. They wanted permanent transformation. So here's the demand tonight. President Trump, back President Trump, back DHS, back ICE, pass the Save America Act with voter ID, photo verification, proof of citizenship, and an end to the ballot chaos. And Republicans need to stiffen their spines right now. Maria Salazar and Carlos Jimenez need to hear from voters who are sick of carve-outs dressed up as compassion. No more redesignation shell games. No more forever TPS scams. No more filibuster excuses while the Democrat machine fights to lock in imported dependency and diluted citizenship. July 10th gives the country a clean test. Do we obey plain English, or do we let AOC, the NGO class, and the legacy media turn every temporary crisis into permanent demographic leverage? Trump drew the line. The Supreme Court opened the door. Now the enforcement phase begins. If you're done being guilt-tripped, overbilled, and politically shoved aside in your own country, send this segment to somebody who still thinks this was ever about mercy. And make sure you text the words raw feed to that number on the screen, 844-840-4963. We're bypassing the algorithm, sending notifications direct to you when YouTube fails you. Thousands and thousands of patriots have already done it. So what are you waiting for? And make sure you're celebrating all the wins by going to the merch shelf below this video or shop.nextnewsnetwork.com.
The system controls information. Information control is power. They don't want you to see this. The truth only survives together. They don't want this shared. Share this now.